Brukwe, and I'm joined by my colleague Vuyolwetu. And today we'll take you through juristic representation or juristic representatives. So this part of the Act is covered in Section 13(1)(c) of the FACE Act, and you'll find from the information that we'll provide to you its interpretation of this section of the Act and how it's applied. And you'll find Board Notice 194 of 2017, which will take you through the fit and proper requirements for JRs. And you'll find for Board Notice 80 of 2003 for General Code of Conduct. Who are the juristic reps and why do we need them? Or how do they apply to this section of the Act, or why do we need them as the FSPs? So an FSP is a company or a CC is an entity that is granted a license by the authority to provide financial services to clients. So as an FSP, you will get your license with the products that you will be providing services for. So an FSP can opt to give out or outsource that function of their business, which is representatives. So it can outsource that function to a legal entity. That legal entity will be a JR. We refer to it as a JR, which is a juristic representative. So a JR doesn't necessarily have to be an authorized FSP. It just is a legal entity. So as a legal entity, this JR will be acting on behalf of the FSP. What does that mean? This means this JR will be a representative of the FSP. So it will come with its people that is working under them. Those people could be administrators, could be reps as well. All of those people that are working for the JR are deemed to be working for the FSP because the JR has an agreement with the FSP to serve it or to provide a service under them or for them. So when the JR has that agreement with the FSP, everybody else who works under the JR is deemed to be working for the FSP. So the JR is not independent of the FSP. The JR is doing everything that the FSP wants. So in terms of the policies and the procedures, the JR will follow what the FSP is saying. So the JR will have the RMP, which is the risk management plan of the FSP, and will have to follow all the processes that the FSP has on there. After that, the JR will have to represent an FSP and go out and meet clients to advise or to provide an intermediary service. So when that is done on behalf of the FSP. So that means should there be a complaint, an FSP is responsible for that complaint. So when the person, if the complaint is escalated and something is happening, it will not be escalating on behalf of the rep and the client. It will be on behalf of the client and the FSP. For an example, you have Vuyolwetu, who is an FSP, who's employed Ziyanda consultants, who is a rep. So as Ziyanda consultants, I go out and give advice or intermediary service on behalf of Vuyolwetu. If the client is not happy, the client is not happy with Vuyolwetu because the documentation that I provide to the client will be on the letterhead of Vuyolwetu. So that means the relationship is between the client and Vuyolwetu. So when they sign to say, I've been given advice, I'm happy with everything, everything is on the letterhead of Vuyolwetu. So the client will show in the books of Vuyolwetu. So as that function of representatives is outsourced to Ziyanda consultants, as Ziyanda consultant, I have to tell the client that this is the person who you are a client of, which is Vuyolwetu. And if the client is paying cash premiums, I can take the cash on behalf of Vuyolwetu as Ziyanda consultants. I can take the cash, however, I cannot put it in the account of Ziyanda consultants. It has to go in the account of Vuyolwetu. Because as Ziyanda consultants, I have no authority to carry cash in my account that is premiums from clients because I'm not authorized to do so. And Vuyolwetu, as an authorized FSP, has the responsibility to ensure that all those funds that have been collected by Ziyanda consultant as the rep are showing as such in the accounts of Vuyolwetu. So as a result, as much as there's no that independence, or as much as the FSP can outsource the representation or representatives function, it cannot outsource the collection of funds. So now we've discovered that who this JR is, how they can act, and who they're acting on behalf of. So all of that information needs to be told, or the client will need to know about it. So now, who cannot be a JR?
Thank you, Ziyanda. Under the Section 40 of the Fit and Proper requirements, a JR cannot be someone that is under liquidation, provisional liquidation, or under business rescue. A juristic rep must have sufficient operational ability and financial resources to perform the activities which it is appointed for. On top of that, an FSP must ensure that any remuneration or fee paid in respect of an activity or function of the juristic rep is reasonable and not structured in a manner that may increase the risk of unfair treatment of its clients. The FSP must also have appropriate contingency plans to ensure continuity of its business in the event that the JR agreement is terminated. And a JR cannot outsource or subdelegate any activity or part thereof relating to the rendering of its services. Now, there's also Section 44, which requires a JR to have operational ability, as mentioned, and a JR must at all times have at least one key individual that will manage and oversee the activities of its JR. Now, there's also financial soundness requirements, which applies to all juristic representatives. Now, juristic reps must at all times meet financial soundness requirement as stipulated by the FAIRS Act. Now, this means assets must exceed liabilities. It must also meet working capital requirement, and it must have meet the liquidity requirement. These financial statements must be submitted to the FSP on behalf of the JR, and it must be submitted half yearly. Now, this is the responsibility of the FSP to monitor financial soundness of the juristic representative. Thank you, Ziyanda.
Thank you, Vuyo. And that is all that we wanted to share with you today regarding the JRs. But please be on the lookout for more of our webinars that will be taking you through the different sections of the Act, more especially with the JRs, as we was mentioning, fit and proper and financial soundness requirements. You will find there's another webinar that is coming out, and please be on the lookout for it. That will take you through the calculation of the financial soundness requirements, the solvency calculation, the liquidity calculation, together with working capital calculation. For today, I'm Ziyanda Brukwe, and I was joined by Vuyolwetu. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.